Hi there. My name is John Stevens, pastor of Zion Lutheran Church in Oregon City, Oregon, and we're part of the ELCA, and welcome to Dollar Store Children's Sermons, where we take a look at the lectionary text. We tie them to an item from the Dollar Tree. This is for the narrative lectionary, and we're in the Gospel of Matthew, and we're looking at the temptation of Jesus, which is really, it follows the baptism. Jesus is baptized, and then he's into the wilderness, and he's being tempted. And so, a couple of different directions to go on this, and one is to talk about how that we are tempted as well, that there are temptations that we're faced with. It could be temptations of, hey, I'm on a diet, and of course there's a good chance that kids will have someone in their life, parents or grandparents or friends of parents that are on a diet of some sort, so they know that, they've heard it, or the fact that I'm tempted to have that second piece of cake. There's those temptations. Then there's the temptations where I'm tempted to go along with my friends when they're making fun of somebody. I'm tempted to do something because it's the easiest. I'm tempted to cheat. You got the whole 10 Commandments about how that just lays out the temptations that we have. Our prayer, lead us not into temptation. Help me from this. And so we know what it's like to be tempted. And so we can talk about that. We can also talk about when we end up, when we are tempted and we end up doing stuff and we have to move into the sense of asking for forgiveness. I'm thinking about using an I'm sorry card. I mean, how voicing that and reconciliation and the temptation that goes around not wanting to deal with that. Lots of stuff pulling on different directions. All of this, talking about all of this, points out to that Jesus is the one in this text being tempted. And what that does for me is that connects me with Jesus in a special and a deeper way. That Jesus is out there and Jesus is tempted, probably to the 10th degree, to the extreme. And it tells me that Jesus knows what I go through. That Jesus has the experience to know what it's like to be tempted. If I believe that Jesus was fully man and fully God, that in that, Jesus knows what it's like to be tempted. And there is this depth to that. It's one of the reasons, I loved talking with my grandmother. When we would sit around the table and we'd have conversations, I would love to talk to her as well as, my parents. And when I'd be at college and I'd come home, and before I'd go back to college, I would have breakfast with my mom, and we'd have conversations, because there was a sense of wisdom there, because I knew my mom had gone through similar things than me. She had wisdom of years and wisdom of experience. And this text really kind of lifts that up, that we have a God that knows us, and we have a God that has lived it, if you will. So those are some directions to go, and I'm hoping it can be a springboard for your own thinking around your children's sermon. And as always, thanks for stopping by, and I hope you have a fantastic week.